Good afternoon, everyone. I am so glad you could join us today. My name is Azeem, and we're here to talk about a topic that's mission critical for every organization: incident response. Let me ask you this. If a cyber attack happened today, would you know exactly what to do? Do you have a documented plan? Are your stakeholders clear on their roles? Most organizations struggle with this, but it doesn't have to be that way. Throughout this webinar, we're going to cover three things. Number one, why incident response is more essential than ever in 2025. Number two, how Arctic Wolf's incident response, Jumpstart retainer, and elastic response framework sets you up for success. And number three, why Synergy Technical and Arctic Wolf are uniquely positioned to help you simplify and strengthen your security posture. So this session is packed with actionable insights to help you protect your organization. So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's dive in. Agenda. Okay, here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to start with who we are at Synergy Technical, because if you don't know who's in your corner, it's kind of hard to trust the process. Then we'll talk about the cybersecurity landscape in 2024 or 2025, what's changing, what's at stake, and why it's more critical than ever to stay ahead of the curve. Next, I'll introduce you to Arctic Wolf, our incredible partner in this fight, and why their technology and approach are unlike anything you've seen before. We'll then break down their incident response Jumpstart program, share a real-world success story, and, get this, show you how all of this can actually help you save money on cyber insurance. Finally, we'll wrap it all up with next steps, including a new tool that will change how you handle cybersecurity emergencies. So it's going to be a packed session, so let's get started. So let me start by giving you a bit of background on Synergy Technical. So our company was founded in Richmond, Virginia by a former CIO who was at the time leading a Fortune 500 manufacturing organization's journey to the cloud. And so while she was exploring the ecosystem of partners back in 2011, she realized that there wasn't really a company out there that fully met the needs of such a transition. So she decided to start Synergy Technical instead. Just 3 months after our founding, we became a Microsoft managed partner, which really set the foundation of our deep and ongoing collaboration with Microsoft. Synergy has since grown into a leading tech consulting company and a top 20 Microsoft partner in North America. So our approach is very much rooted in a deep understanding of your challenges from both a technical and strategic perspective, right? So we like to think of ourselves as an engineering first organization. So we focus on thoroughly scoping projects to make sure we can actually meet your deliverables before we even talk about selling you a solution. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to just be your another vendor, right? We want to be your trusted partner, your go-to when it matters most. And we're proud to have been recognized as a top Microsoft partner, earning accolades like the M365 Security Deployment Partner of the Year and being featured in Microsoft case studies 5 times in just 3 years. We've deployed over 3 million plus cloud users. We have customers all over the country and have a proven track record all across the world. So I think this really speaks to the trust and confidence our clients place in us and the consistent results we deliver. In terms of our services, we have a strong focus on 3 pillars, right? Consulting services, managed IT services, and licensing advisory services. So our consulting covers everything from migration work to security projects, designed with a clear start and end date. We actually grew into our managed IT services based on customer demand, right? Not just to expand our offerings, but because our clients asked us to. So this includes 24/7 monitoring, updates, patching, and operating a full security operations center, all local here in Richmond. Lastly, our licensing advisory services make sure that you're getting the most out of your existing spend, helping identify any low-hanging fruit to find some potential savings. Cybersecurity landscape. All right, so here's the deal. Cyber threats aren't slowing down. They're getting faster, smarter, and more destructive. Last year, ransomware attacks alone increased by 73%. Think about that for a second. 73%. And it's not just about the volume of attacks, right? It's how cyber criminals are using AI to outpace defenses, exploiting vulnerabilities before most companies even know they exist. Now, these aren't random attacks, right? They're strategic, they're relentless, and they hit hardest when you're least prepared. And so that's why having a proactive incident response strategy isn't just a nice to have, right? It's your best defense in a world where the threats are evolving daily. The good news is you don't have to face this alone. Let's talk about Arctic Wolf, because being great at what we do means partnering with the best. So at Synergy Technical, we're all about solving the real problems organizations face every day. And Arctic Wolf is the perfect partner for tackling today's biggest cybersecurity challenges. So I found this interesting stat that I wanted to share with you guys. So they process 700 billion security observations every single day. So to put that into perspective, I wanted to play a quick round of who's got the bigger number. Round one, Arctic Wolf versus global emails sent per day. I'll give you a second. The winner is Arctic Wolf. 700 billion beats 350 billion emails per day. Round two, Arctic Wolf versus Google searches per day. This is an interesting one. I'm sure you're guessing where this is going. Again, Arctic Wolf. I thought it was pretty surprising that there are actually less Google searches per day than emails sent at 8 billion per day. So Arctic Wolf's scale blows these out of the water, right? So the point is, it's like having security eyes everywhere all the time. Their elastic response framework makes sure that threats are contained, analyzed, and resolved quickly. I'm going to go a bit deeper into that in a bit. And they leverage AI to make it all happen faster than ever. So with over 10,000 clients and a global presence, they're not just another cybersecurity provider, they're a powerhouse. And when you combine their cutting edge technology with our expertise, you get a partnership that delivers real results. As promised, elastic response framework. So the elastic response framework is like having a playbook for every cybersecurity emergency, right? So it starts with secure, so immediate action to contain threats, isolate devices, and then block malicious activity. Then comes analyze, digging into the root cause so you don't just fix the issue, you learn from it. And then finally, restore, getting you back to normal with minimal downtime. So think of it like responding to a fire, right? So you put out the flames, you figure out what caused them, and then you rebuild stronger. So this framework doesn't just protect you, it makes you better prepared for the next challenge. That brings us here. So let's dive into the incident response Jumpstart retainer and why it stands out as a critical tool for organizations today. So let's start with the cornerstone of this program, right? The 1 hour SLA. So imagine this, the average response time in the industry is 4 to 6 hours. That's half a workday, right? That's time that your business is down. In that time, attackers can infiltrate deeper into your network, gather sensitive data, and really escalate the cost and complexity of your recovery. With this retainer, you're not just waiting, right? Within 60 minutes, a dedicated team of experts is on the case, right? Actively working to assess, contain, and begin remediation. So this rapid response reduces recovery time by 30%, ultimately getting you back to business faster. Let's talk numbers. So the cost of a typical ransomware engagement is about $46,000. For organizations that use the IRJS retainer, that drops to $35,000, a savings of between $11,000 to $12,000 per incident. Now that's real money saved, right? Not just in ransom payments, but also in reduced downtime and recovery efforts. So it's not just about ROI, right? Obviously the ROI is great, but it's about having confidence that your response is swift, effective, and doesn't drain your resources in the process. Now let's look at ransom mitigation, right? So on average, Arctic Wolf's clients see a 92% reduction in ransom payments. So if an attacker, typically on average, they demand $600,000. So Arctic Wolf can actually negotiate that down significantly, potentially saving you over $550,000. But here's the thing, many IRJS clients don't pay the ransom at all, right? Why? Because the program focuses on proactive resilience, secure backups, containment strategies, and expert negotiation that puts you in control of the situation. It doesn't stop there, right? So there are IR planning resources. This right here, it gives you access to cyber resilience assessment, right? Which offers a detailed review of your current security posture in the form of like a credit score. And that essentially helps you establish a baseline and track progress. So it identifies vulnerabilities, provides actionable recommendations, and strengthens your defenses long-term. So this proactive approach not only reduces risk, but also helps you negotiate lower cyber insurance premiums. So now you can see that the IRJS isn't just a reactive tool, right? It's a comprehensive strategy for managing risk, minimizing impact, and building long-term resilience. From rapid response to proactive planning, Arctic Wolf makes sure that you're prepared for the unexpected and equipped to handle it with confidence. So now I want to move on to something on how we actually make sure your team is just as prepared as your systems. Tabletop exercises. So a great incident response plan is only as strong as the people behind it, right? And that's why tabletop exercises are such a game changer, right? So these aren't just practice runs, right? They're the key to making sure everyone knows exactly what to do when things hit the fan. So here's how it works. We create a realistic scenario that's tailored to your organization. So let's say maybe you have a ransomware attack or a phishing incident, and we role play it with your team. So this isn't about theory, right? It's about action. Every stakeholder is assigned a role, and together we walk through the event step by step. So think of it like a stress test for your plan, right? Who needs to call who? What steps need to be taken immediately? Does your team know when to engage third parties like insurance providers, law enforcement, the FBI? Now, these are questions you don't want to answer for the first time during an actual incident. And for publicly traded companies, it's even more critical, right? We'll guide you through SEC reporting requirements, public communication strategies, and how to handle press inquiries so you're prepared to protect your reputation as well as your operations. By the end of the exercise, you'll have clarity. Clarity on roles, clarity on gaps in your current plan, and most importantly, clarity on how to respond effectively under pressure. Now, these sessions are designed to give your team the muscle memory in a way. They need to act fast and smart when it matters most. Now let's walk through a real-world example of how Arctic Wolf's incident response team handled a ransomware encryption event. So this case illustrates how critical response time, rapid responses, and the value of having a partner like Arctic Wolf. So 2:14 a.m., the encryption event. The organization received a ransom note stating that critical data had been stolen. Web applications were down and SQL servers had been encrypted. So their immediate step was reaching out to Arctic Wolf using the Experience to Breach button. Within 8 minutes, the Arctic Wolf incident response team contacted the organization with a complimentary scoping call, providing immediate containment guidance and assembling a specialized team. So this rapid response was enabled by the 1-hour SLA guaranteed by the IRJS retainer. 250 to 350 containment, right? So the IR team identified that 3 SQL servers were impacted. They immediately isolated backups from the network, limited network traffic to prevent further spread, and then disabled compromised VPN accounts. 725, root cause analysis. So the forensic team then discovered that the attack's origin was a malicious email attachment that was opened by a user in that company's shipping department. So the attackers exploited this to encrypt the SQL servers using RDP from the primary domain controller. 805 restoration, right? So the restoration team rebuilt the compromised domain controller, restored backups, and removed the attackers' persistent mechanisms, confirming that the environment was secure. Then 9 a.m. threat actor planning. The IR team advised the client to engage legal counsel to determine their approach. But because the backups were intact, the organization decided not to pay the ransom. Restoration complete, right? So by late morning, all systems were restored and operations resumed. 7 days later, the Arctic Wolf IR team then sent an executive summary of exactly what happened, what the reasons were, what was impacted, and then how to harden the systems and so to make sure this doesn't happen again. So this rapid resolution highlights the value of Arctic Wolf's expertise and quick response capabilities. Cyber insurance. So as the cybersecurity landscape becomes more and more hostile and more risky, cyber insurance becomes more and more expensive, as it has been. But one benefit that Arctic Wolf's clients have seen is that they save about 10 to 30% on their premiums because insurers recognize the reduced risk their solutions provide. Obviously, it's more than just about saving money, but it's nice that you have that benefit alongside the financial security and peace of mind. Okay, so we're excited to announce that the incident response engagement tool is coming soon. This is the button I mentioned in the previous example. So this feature will let you connect with Synergy and Arctic Wolf 24/7 during a cybersecurity emergency, making sure that immediate action is taken without any delays. So, rapid assistance with breaches, compromises, or security questions. So it's really all part of a holistic approach to keep your organization safe and secure. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of the webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're ready to take that next step, let's talk about how we can help you help improve your incident response readiness. You can either reach out directly to me if you're interested, that's my email, or you can reach out to our sales team and we'll do our best to help you. I think one takeaway I want you guys to take from this webinar is that I know there's a lot of chaos out there, but cybersecurity doesn't have to be overwhelming, right? With the right tools and the right team, you can face any challenge. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.